I've played the demo of Zaum's next game, Zero Parades for Dead Spies, and it was incredible. The writing is off the charts. For a whole straight hour you are talking to your own thoughts in a single room. This is how confident the writers are in their abilities. Remember how fun skill checks conversations were? Now they are cranked up to 11. Passive checks interact with you constantly. Now you don't need to distract yourself by talking to actual NPCs as much. Zero Parades zeroed out on what made the previous game special and capitalized on it.
The man's breath gargles softly in his throat as you yank him upwards. He is heavier than he looks.
I love the new feature where the voiceover comes and goes, or even better, when the voiceover doesn't match the text.
This is only a cover, but such phantoms often mimic the operant bureau's actual hierarchies. Your double has deserted the track before the starting gun. Will you stand for it? Honest people going about their lives, selling goods out of cocaine, the original power plant. It's either a warning related to the world historical information you're here for, or he has become a brand ambassador for the enemy. At this stage, nothing can be ruled out.
It kept me on my toes, making sure I always read and not just consumed it in auditory manner, like an animal. I also loved the cryptic messages like, as your eyes reach his feet, you notice that the man is also wearing 3 layers of socks, each slightly shorter than one beneath it. Or, of course, if you could restore him to himself, perhaps he could brief you as he was the plan. To find out what these mysteries mean, you may watch my 3-hour essay on Zero Parades, link in the description. And the poetry, oh, the poetry, it's boundless, so many words. I'm amazed how the writers manage to find metaphors for every action your character does, no matter how mundane it could be.
The refreshments remain dormant in their artificially chilled chamber. Terror to most, but for those with a taste for it, this is the kind of sound that vibes with their darkened soul.
Still, we persevere. Or at least we persevere to persevere.
An affront to workers' safety. Confine it to the gulag of the pocket. The chain resists and collapses in a jangling heap at your feet. The metal creaks and gives way. The chain lies bleeding out on the cobblestones. In another life, it would have been a serpent.
When I went to take a dump, I was so immersed I had a narrator in my head describing the whole process. It was a great choice to cast Philomena Kunk as the narrator's voice actor. She masterfully swallows half the syllables and talks like somebody put a fistful of sand in her vagina all the time, perfectly matching the tone. I was honored to take an interview with Philomena, and this is what she had to say.
And that story went places I wasn't prepared for. Like, not even funny, just disturbing.
The visuals are gorgeous and full of meaning. Look at this picture. See how the man's legs clip through the pavement? It symbolizes him being stuck, rooted to the ground, waiting for a tram that is never going to come. See how he practically blends into the environment because of the lighting? This is because he's been waiting for so long, he has grown accustomed to the place. Magnificent symbolism. Or here, a blind man phases through you like you're not even there. Clearly a reinforcement of the idea that the children have been brainwashed by foreign television to the point of being mentally blind. The humor in this game is
Bubsquux, ongs, sixfuzzle.
hysterical. The protagonist notices a bald spot on the catatonic's partner's head and rubs it. Right there, I have to confess, I peed my pants a little. But then she finds an old candy in his pocket and eats it. Then one of the options goes, very yum yum, just like I remember. I laughed so hard I broke 3 of my ribs and had to be taken to the ER. Since then, in order to safely finish this review, I have been heavily sedated. That's why I talk like this. You know, when you see something overwhelmingly cute, you might have urges to squeeze, pinch, or bite it, or when you are so happy you might cry or laugh when stressed. It's called the amorphous expressions of emotion, as ChatGPT told me. When I was playing Zero Parades, I was so engaged I started to fall asleep. My eyelids grew heavy and I could barely keep them open. In years, no other game has brought me to such an overwhelming state of interest. Just to be objective, I launched Disco Elysium to refresh my memory. It was night and day. The pacing was way too snappy, and I had no time to marinate in the room by myself. When I was talking to Clasier, to one of my responses she just says,
Okay.
"What do you mean, okay? I could have written that." I really hope that the next Zaum project is going to be a Disco Elysium remaster. This response obviously needs at least 5 lines full of words from forgotten pages of Thesaurus, accompanied by 3 skill checks talking to me at once. After Zero Parades, Disco Elysium is practically unplayable. And there you have it. Great games don't need eccentric visionaries, passionate artists, or prodigy writers. The best predictor of a great game is the right kind of money man and a well-oiled replaceable workforce. Those are just hard facts, and Zero Parades proves it. And for all of you haters out there, don't blame the developers. They did nothing wrong. When all the original creators were flushed out of the studio, just imagine how hard it is to go to work every day for years and be forced to copy someone else's style, doing their best to simulate a similar vision, and knowing that no matter what they do, their original voice is always going to be in the shadow of someone else's achievement. It took me 4 hours to complete. Since the demo's release, I've stopped playing Clair Obscur and have been playing the demo non-stop, resulting in 11.5 playthroughs for a total of 50 hours. I already pre-ordered and wishlisted the game for myself, my family, and my cat, and I recommend you do the same. Vote with your wallet so we can have more masterpieces like this. And I give the demo of Zero Parades for Dead Spies a 10 out of a 10.
I was an angry drunk. If only we'd known.
Here's how to become a great artist. First, get miserable. Misery drives you to become a great artist. The art does nothing for your misery, which drives you to drugs, which makes you a lousy artist. And this is not lousy.